on a very windy day in Leicestershire. Right, today's job is to go through some of my strawberry plants, looking for some runners that I can actually pot up for next year. The ones what I'm going to be potting up will be the ones what are going to end up in the Polytunnel next spring. When I say spring, what I mean is come next, well, we're talking about late winter, February time. I'm going to, it's alright, there was some wind blowing around, some attention. Yeah, come February time, the plants what I've potted up now, which will be outside at some point, I'll probably put them in the tunnel just to get them going, but then after a few weeks they will be put outside up until February. Come February they'll go back into the tunnel, then I need to water those every couple of days. They've got to be kept moist. And if hopefully that will bring on strawberries for around about the 10th of April in the tunnel, and if we're lucky we'll be able to carry on for about a month. Then depending on the season, if this year's been a funny season, everything's been a bit later than normal, well not everything but strawberries have. If it's like a normal year since I started here, been here 4 years, then we tend to get strawberries in May. So once the ones in the tunnel are finished, then these will all provide me with the fruit. So that's the plan for next year. Right, I've just moved these pots and I can see straight away. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Are you watching this? I'm cutting the runner off just about an inch. Just cut it off about an inch. I'm not going to bother with that one because it hasn't got much roots. This one has. I'm going to cut it off an inch on the other side. There's a fine specimen of a strawberry runner. If I pot that up now, I hope you can see that. If I pot that up now and keep watering it, after a couple of weeks that will be rooted into that pot and we'll have a nice plant for next year. That is a really lovely looking plant already. So I'm just going to go through, I'm going to pick a load of these now. I only want about, I suppose, 10 or about 20. Look at that one, brilliant, just what we're looking for. That's 2. So I'm going to weed, I need to weed all this lot as well. But at the minute I'm just looking over. Look at that. Look at that, just look at that, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So there's 3 straight away, and look, I've hardly started. Previous years I've actually potted them all up, and I did have 1,200 plants one year. So it's no good going to these extremes. You can't sell the plants. Another nice one, perfect. Absolutely perfect that is for potting on. Not got so bigger roots, but there's enough there to be able to get that going. See that? Now one thing what's going to happen to you, and it's going to confuse you, is that some of these plants what you started with will have created root runners earlier, and they will have actually formed quite nice plants, and sometimes if you haven't put the plants in a uniform manner it can confuse you, like this one here, because this one is actually rooted quite well. It's only a smaller plant, but look at those roots. They are. It's the best root system one yet. Isn't that great, eh? Just thinking that all these didn't cost you anything. All these new plants. Perfect one. So many coming off this particular one, we just don't know where to turn, do we? So that's another one. All I'm doing is just snipping the runners where that could potentially form another plant. I'm snipping it off, so I'm only interested in one developed plant like that. Or if there is another one on, I'll take it off, but if they're not developed, then they just get thrown away. And as I say, I'm just interested today in taking some of these plants out. I'm not going to finish cutting back the strawberries, so I'll do that another day, because this will take me a while to pot these on with soil. I've got enough here to get on with, so I'm going to switch the camera off for the moment, and I'll be back in a bit and I'll show you how I pop them on into buckets or pots. So I know Nigel's coming up today, I'm just keeping an eye. Hello all, I'm back again. Right, Westland multi-purpose compost, 100 litre bags. That's what I tend to use. What we're doing, I tend to use the bags for potting up, for taking away rubbish. So I don't like to tear the bags open. I'll just take the top off like that. I've decided rather than go straight to the 10 litre tubes, 10 litre pots, buckets, whatever you like to call them, I'm going to use some 3 litre like I did the other year, just to get them going. Then that's because I may need some of the soil, so I'm just doing this to save on soil at the moment. Otherwise I'm going to use all my soil what I've got here up. Everyone has different ways of potting up. Personally, I like to fill the pot up and then make a hole for the plant rather than backfill. It's just everyone will develop what they like, their own style. So I'm just opening it up using my finger. Now these have actually got a really good root system, so I do not need to use the metal, I don't know what you'd call it, I'll show you one in a minute. I'll have to go and get one out of the tunnel. So right, there's 2 methods to this. You can make sure you've got a nice hole and just put them straight in like that. Otherwise, instead of filling it all the way up, you can kind of spread it out and then fill it. I tend to do it that way in the spring, about March, April time, when I order some bare rooted plants which come like this, except they've got no leaves, they're all died off because they would have been refrigerated, taken in a similar position to this and then put into the freezer and kept that way for the winter. Right. Okay, I'm hoping you can see that. Can you see where all the stems of the leaves are coming out? That's the crown, and that's got to be on the surface of the soil. It's not got to be buried. Can you see that? I hope you can see that all right. We've got some new leaves coming out. That's the crown. So that that's all ready now. I could use one of those metal clips. I'm just thinking, let's see. Just bear with me a minute, I'll go and get one for you and show you. All it is a piece of wire cut to about 4 inches in length, bend it in half. You don't really want the thin stuff like this, you want something a bit thicker. And then all you do, you just put it over the crown, just to keep it in the soil. So when you're watering, some of this soil may come loose. So that's it. Obviously these have got to have a good water straight away, and you must do it every day really for the next week or two until those roots are really established and you can't pull them out. anymore. I think I've got about, I don't know how, about 20 or 30 here to do, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. I was actually lucky because the ones what I started showing you were the ones what I wanted, which are Corona, because they produce very large fruit. They're resistant to nearly all strawberry diseases. So yeah, I'm making quite a bit of a mess on my little patio area. I'm going to have to sweep that up afterwards. I think still want a bit more soil, because this soil, once it gets wet, this compost, is going to sink into the pot. So I'm just making sure that I've got those roots buried, because you don't want the roots, if they're not, it could dry out the plant. I will just tuck the metal in there. They are, that's another one done. I'm not going to record these all, it'd be too boring for you, but I'll do one more. Right, there we are. Nice little hole in there. Stick the roots in just to the crown. So that crown's at the point where all the stems come out and the new growth. Don't put it in anymore. You've also got to make sure that it doesn't stick out too much the other way either, because that can dry out the plant and kill it. So it is a bit of a precision way of growing, and there you are. I hope that helps you a little. If you've got any comments, please ask away. I confirm that the ones what we transplanted a few weeks ago into that into the raised bed in the netted enclosure, they have mostly been a success. I did lose one or two purely down to my own failures. I kept telling you about the watering and I went and forgot myself, and I didn't water for 2 days and it basically killed the plants. That's why at that delicate stage you must water. Right, I hope that's been of some assistance. Can I thank all the new subscribers, all of those of you who have been liking and sharing my page. Very much appreciated. You know, it's always nice to see the figures going up and getting lovely comments. I know we all have different ways, and some of you are not going to agree with the way I do things. That's gardening. No one's perfect. No one's right or wrong. We've all got our own ways, and it's just something you're going to develop your own style from watching other people, and just modifying it to the way you work. So yeah, don't forget to follow me on Facebook. I've got the page for I've got a gardening page. I've also got a group, Growing with Julie. I've got a Polytunnel group as well, and I've got my art page. There you are. Thanks for watching. Right. I'm back again, but this time with a different camera, as the other one's battery's gone flat on me. Anyway, I've actually potted up 23 of the strawberry plants. As you can see, they're all in these 3-litre pots. I've used 20 litres of water to water these. So that's just over 2 watering cans, and now just a matter of keeping an eye on these now for the next few weeks and hope that they've all take. It's not an exact science, so we'll just have to see. But the main thing is that these get watered. And when I know that they're actually standing upright and the roots have gone in, everything's looking good, I'll put these outside and they'll stay out then until about February, and then I'll bring them back into the tunnel, and I shall have them on the racking and on the staging down here, and then hopefully we'll have some early strawberries next April. What you're looking at the moment is all the leftover perennials. Some of them are looking a bit poor for themselves. Unfortunately, there's been a delay on my raised beds for home, you know, that what I'm using up here, and I've been waiting now for a few weeks, and obviously they can't get hold of them quick enough, and so my poor plants are struggling. Oh well, that's life. Okay, I'm going to go off now to take some photos. In fact, let's video it, because just look at how beautiful. You'll have to excuse the wind. I'm hoping you can hear me. It's really, really windy. This is the annual bed, what you've seen many a time. Still looking really lovely. But just have a look at the perennial bed. Just look at this. I'm going to take some photos. They'll go up on my Facebook pages later. I know it's a bit dull, but never mind. Just look. Aren't they beautiful? Just look at them. Well, I believe they're clangers mix. I just love to watch the bees. So this continues to be beautiful, and it's just going to get better because there's so many buds here all over the place from the dahlias. It's just, and just look at all the different colours. You've got the mix of the kind of salmony colour, you've got the bright deep reds, you've got the pinks, you've got all these snapdragons. And just look at this. Yeah, I love these Bishop's Children. And look at that. What a beauty. Is that rutabaga? Just fantastic, eh? Absolutely fantastic. Okay, and we'll just leave you with just viewing over here, and that's it for today. Thanks for watching.